We're going to learn about invertebrates. If you want to go somewhere comfy to listen to the story, you can. Just go ahead and follow along with me. What is an invertebrate? Most animals move, but many cannot move like you do. You bend, run, hop, and climb. Some animals swish, squirm, wiggle, creep, or crawl. Others can't move at all. Of course, we're talking about invertebrates, animals without backbones. There are more than 1 million different kinds of invertebrates. Invertebrates' bodies are much simpler than yours. Instead of brains, they have a bundle of cells called ganglia. This controls their bodies just as your brain controls yours. But since they lack brains, these animals cannot do many of the things that you can do. Invertebrates can be found in the air, under the water, and on land. Some are carnivores. They eat other animals. Ladybugs, for example, can eat 50 bugs a day. Wow, I didn't know. I didn't even know what ladybugs ate. Sea anemones eat other sea animals. Would you believe invertebrates have rest periods, but they never fall asleep? That's pretty cool. Oysters eat the dead plants and animal matter found in the sea water. That's what this picture is showing. Other invertebrates are herbivores, or plant eaters. Snails, for example, eat leaves, vegetables, and fruit. Some invertebrates eat meat and plants. They are omnivores. Earthworms, for example, eat tiny pieces of rotting plants and animals found in the soil. Swarms of grasshoppers may eat every green thing for miles. Simple invertebrates. You have a heart, stomach, and lungs, but not all animals have these organs. Sponges and coral do not. Some invertebrates have soft bodies and a stinging body part. They use the sting for defense and to kill prey. If you've ever tangled with jellyfish, you know how much their sting hurts. Oof, yes, I have been stung by a jellyfish. It hurts. Some simple invertebrates can grow new body parts. A sea star has 5 limbs. If one of its limbs gets torn off, a new one grows. This is called regeneration. Some invertebrates reproduce in odd ways. Sponges, jellyfish, and coral do so by budding. Young start growing on their parents' outer bodies. When a baby gets big enough, it breaks off as a separate animal. Wow, imagine that if you were attached to your parent until you were old enough to break apart. Pretty interesting, huh? This is an earthworm, okay? Did you know that every earthworm is both male and female? It's true. When earthworms mate, they lay eggs into a structure, like a cuff, that grows around their bodies. When the earthworm moves, the cuff slides up until it goes over its head and makes a cocoon. In a few weeks, new earthworms hatch from the cocoon. Most earthworms are parasites. They live on other animals' bodies. Some flatworms reproduce by splitting in two. One part has the head, the other part has the tail. Each piece then grows the missing part. The pieces become 2 new flatworms. Interesting. Mollusks have soft bodies. Most have shells covering them. Snails are mollusks with 4 feelers. Their eyes at the tips of the 2 longest tentacles tell light from the dark. A snail moves around using a muscular foot on the bottom of its body. This foot has mucus to help the snail glide across any surface. You can see that mucus. A tiny, thin, shiny trail there. Clams live most of their lives under sand or mud. They pull water through their shells. This provides them with food and oxygen. Clams are bivalves. Okay, that means they have 2 shells. Their shells are hinged so they can open and close them. After a young clam grows a shell, it buries itself. Each year it grows larger. If you look at a clamshell, you will see lines like here on these lines. Okay? Just as a tree stump has rings, the clamshell's line mark the years of its life. You can tell its age by counting the lines on this shell. I wonder how many years old this is. Some clams can live for 20 years. The octopus and the squid are mollusks without shells. Both live in the sea. They grab other animals with their stinging tentacles and pull them into their mouths. These animals move by shooting jets of water from their bodies. If attacked by a predator, they squirt ink. The dark cloud gives the squid or octopus a chance to get away. Little is known about the giant squid. A live one has never been caught. Scientists study the dead squids that wash ashore. The largest ever found was 60 feet long. Wow, look at that giant squid in comparison to a locomotive or a bowling alley or a school bus. Crazy. Arthropods. You have leg joints. These joints let you move at the knee and ankle. Many invertebrates have jointed legs too. These arthropods include spiders, bees, lobsters, and crabs. Most lay eggs. Some, like moths, go through stages. They change several times from birth to death. Mosquito life cycle. How does an arthropod's life go from beginning to end? Here's a mosquito's life from egg to adult. You can go ahead and pause this video if you want to study that life cycle. You have a skeleton. It holds you up and gives you shape. Flesh covers your bones. Unlike you, arthropods have no bones. They have a hard covering on their outer bodies called an exoskeleton. To grow larger, an arthropod molts. It sheds its exoskeleton. Its body is unprotected until the new covering hardens. Most arthropods' body has 3 segments: the head, eyes, and mouth. All right, we're going to skip ahead a little bit. Crayfish look like small lobsters but live in fresh water. One kind actually lives on land. During the day, the chimney crayfish digs a hole in the swamp. It pushes up dirt, forming a chimney. At night, it comes up the chimney to look for food. Some people keep invertebrates as pets because they're quiet and they don't need much care. They're also interesting to watch. It's fun to have a hermit crab and crayfish or an ant farm. Would you like a pet invertebrate? You can pause the video if you want to look at the glossary, meaning all the words we learned about. The end.